Good evening. It's Thursday, 7 o'clock, and welcome to Urban Facts. I'm your host, Eamon Hotep Parker. What the world? Got some kind of problem where it won't get on the Facebook here. Let's see what's happening. Let's see if that'll fix it there. Oh, it still look like nope. So, for the viewers on Facebook, for some reason, we can't get on there. So we definitely just on YouTube for right now. I don't know what the problem is. Let me try one more again. Yeah, it looks like it's scheduled for that. Yeah, I'll just put the link on my page and then the foundation's page. So we have a guest today, Evangelist Gloria. Let's get my picture up here. So we'll be interviewing this young lady right here. And she will be talking about, is it about the child or the check? Just to tap into a little bit on what she's talking about. Social Security has a program where your child can get a check depending on if the person has a disability or, if they are, how can I say, if they qualify for, assistance from their program. So what Evangelist Gloria will be talking about is those specific checks that goes to the child. So let me let's get a little history on that. So in 1965, Social Security amendments, the definition of a child was broadened. In addition to presuming that a child under 18 was dependent to his own parents, the Social Security program began to recognize that the reality that children who are full-time students after the age of 18 were still, in fact, dependent upon their parents for their support. Consequently, the existing child's benefit was extended and its duration to include children of the Social Security beneficiary who were full-time students under the age of 22. The age of 22 was selected because this would be the usual time that a student would complete a 4-year college tuition. Under that program, a lot of individuals, under that program, other benefits were created, such as IEP or just Social Security disability for children, whereas though individuals could get a check for their child if they qualified, for that particular money. They had to have some type of intellectual disability to, qualify for the check in the program itself. So without further ado, hold on before we do that, because I don't want to forget. Let's pray. So Father God, I just thank you for this opportunity to come before your people and give them a message, Father God, just to educate them, Father God, in regards to this message, this topic, Father God, and to help parents to be more diligent and supporting their children the right way, and opposed to what the devil may be trying to lead them to do. So we also want to thank our supporters, DocuCare, Campus Copy. Also want to thank Telly's Glam. We want to thank Cultural Express. It's a little boutique on Point Breeze. I want to thank Taste of Heaven. I also want to thank what's the name of that? Scoop USA. There's a local newspaper publication. And all the people that gave money to the Ethel E. Zachary Foundation in regards to its vision and mission. So we're going to bring on no other than Evangelist Gloria Dunmore. Hey, Evangelist, how are you?
Hello, darling.
Yeah, somehow we didn't get connected to Facebook, but I'll get that situated. But
things happen.
Yeah, I know. But I want to thank you for this opportunity. You came on and you're going to give us a little lesson here in regards to the proper parenting in regards to these people that's getting checks for their children. So can you explain what you mean by is it the child or the check?
Sure. But first, as a parent, I want to commend you, Mr. Parker, for the parenting platform, because us as parents, we need it. Second, we as parents, we do need one another. Children don't come with instructions, but there's always wisdom to get. So I would say, mom and dad, most of us really don't know what the heck we doing, who to call. So we end up doing nothing out of frustration. So with that being said, I am an experienced parent with my children, other people's children, adopted children, kinship care, as well as just taking kids off the street. Most people or most parents, it's about the check. It's not only the subsidy checks that the people get, the kinship care or the adoption care. I just found out that they were paying like almost $10,000 for the children just to watch the children. So the conversation came up when you and I were talking about, is it about the child or the check? Because if you see a lot of the news clips, even back in the day, even up to now, how they had adoptive children, they were being abused, they were being raped. They would have a chain on a refrigerator, so the kids couldn't get nothing to eat. And a lot of the young ladies were Gucci down, Louis Vuitton, new weave. But the child is suffering. And I think we don't realize that when those kids grow older, because they're not going to always be kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you see running around now, stealing and robbing and shooting. Now, let me say this. There are no perfect parents.
Right.
There are no perfect parents. We all need one another. But however, what are you doing? What are you doing? Is it about the check that you really want to get the money for the child? So my grandson, he brought a young man to my home, found him sleeping in a car.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go to DHS to find out what was going on with him, because I needed to be legal. But I didn't wait for the check to come. I start buying him stuff right away.
Right.
I've taken kids that I never got anything for. So I can only use my experience and talk about what I've seen. And we want to talk about the results. Is it about the child or the check? Because usually if it's about the child, they come out okay.
Right.
A long time now. I worked in the prison almost 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I've talked to young men that came from good homes, from their perspective, but they want to get out there and do what they want to do. And I know it's a lot of parent blaming, but 90% is true, because a lot of the parents, first of all, we don't know what we're doing. We got all this pride, so we don't want to ask anybody anything. We don't want to reach out for help. And in my experience, my daughter, all my kids, baby, but I had that one, she was bad. Oh, she was bad. See, this is experience talking to y'all. My daughter was bad, baby. She would run down the school hallway and stop at the class where the teachers are teaching, cut off the lights, and keep running. She was always doing something. She got put out of one school and another school. But I was diligent. See, parents, we can't give up. And this is even for the parents just having babies to get some extra food stamps. And this is why we need our mind renewed. And so for me, I go to church. So I ran to talk to one of the elders, my first Elder Barbara, and she was like, okay. They wanted to give my daughter medication, and they had her IEP. They said something was wrong with the little girl. She kept getting in trouble, so I was discouraged. And of course, you understand most of you parents that's been in frustration because we don't know what to do. We don't know who to call. They're trying to give her this medication. So what I did, I asked an older person, I don't know what to do. Help. She said, well, let's go talk to the other lady. Her name was Elder Marty. She said, listen, let's not give her the medication right now. Let's pray. So we prayed. Let me tell y'all something. It behooves us to talk to someone else.
Right.
A couple of months or weeks or whatever later, I never gave her the medicine, but I took her down to the Point Breeze Performing Arts Center. Sometimes we got to find our kids something to do. She ended up doing jazz, tap, ballet, modern, hip hop. Listen, by the time she got finished, she was tired. I had no more problems out of her for years. See, this is not a competition. It's a crisis that we living in now. It's not, oh my goodness. Can't nobody tell me what to do? Can't nobody tell me how to raise my kids? Baby, you don't know what you're doing. And neither did I. Wisdom is the principal thing. We need to get help. Let me see. We're looking for the government to do any and everything. We want to get a check and have children. But y'all got to remember, those children don't stay children. They don't stay babies. Yeah, I'm looking at my notes because I wanted to make sure I gave you guys everything everything that I could. Where does the real responsibility lie in our community?
Move over just a little bit there, Evangelist. You cut off a little bit. We see half your face.
Wait a minute. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just move your chair over a tad bit that way.
This way. Okay, y'all back. Okay. Be honest with yourself. So this is one of the first things we want to look at. You're getting a child. It's about the child with a check, right? So have you looked at and considered the child's need for mental health, for emotional stability? Be honest with yourself. What's your motive? Is it the check or the child? Are you bringing them into an atmosphere of love, hope, and do you have peace in your own home? Or is your home full of chaos and confusion, adding more trauma? Now, this is for adoptive children that's coming in from another family member. Maybe the child lost a parent, or the parent is on drugs and they can't take care of them. So, be frustrated. We all got stuff going on.
Now, for the parents that are getting, income for children and aren't doing the right thing, um, can they be reported by, I guess a family member that may know, that they're not really properly doing what they're supposed to with the benefit from Social Security, or wherever they're
Yes,
getting
I
funding
mean,
from?
people do tell, and there are reports of children being neglected or abused. Teachers see it when they go to the school. They come to school smelling, or they come to school, their uniforms aren't good, their shoes are ran over. I mean, shoes don't cost that much, baby. I bought shoes for all the children on the sale rack. They was Nike and whatever they wanted, but listen, you get a job, you'll be okay. Let's focus on the matter at hand. You need to get your education. You want to be clean. You want to be neat. You can buy soap by the dozens. So it's things for personal hygiene. Maybe they come from a background where they were so abused and traumatized. They act out. But my question is, us as the parent that's taking on these children, whether it's adoption or family member's child, or even our own biological, are we mentally stable? Or because of our trauma? Because they always say that hurt people hurt people.
Right.
So my question, are you really healed? Can you give unconditional love to someone else? You can't love anybody else or help anybody else until you can love yourself and help your own self. So you want to sit and ask yourself those questions before you even take on responsibility. But a lot of us don't do that. What we do, that's a check. We can get some money. The mindset is wrong. And now, 10, 15 years later, 20 years later, the Philadelphia whole city is wreaking havoc. And I'm not saying everybody is like that, because some children grow up because they made a decision. We're not doing this. We're going to do something else with our lives. Right. But then you have the trauma that has never been dealt with the parent or the child. So a lot of DHS, they make the parent go to training, so they're able to get the help that they need. Well, some of them may not show up. Some of them may show up and still don't, it's a hard thing for me. It's a hard thing because, we so money hungry that's the main purpose and goal when it shouldn't be. So, you got to be honest with yourself. Am I really ready to do this? Now, let me say this. I know the generations are different. You got children, they just all over the place. They just doing all types of nonsense. Just heard about the little girl, I think she was 14, just was driving crazy with a stolen car. The car flipped over on, it wasn't a boulevard, I think on a drive. Now she's going to jail for vehicular homicide. One of our friends got hurt. They all ended up in Children's Hospital.
Oh, hold on. This just recently happened?
I just read it. I think it was Sunday. Yeah. And there was a girl, so you have a lot of the generation is different. But some things don't change. You know what those things are that don't change? Manners, respect, and reverence for God. I was outside talking to one of the young guys, and he was saying, Miss Glow, they call me Mama Glow, these people different, but you still got to have manners. Right. We had a good conversation. I think a lot of times that we don't talk to the children, we talk at the children.
Right.
You're not getting feedback from them. There's no do what I say, and that's it, and that's all. Well, are you doing what you say? What kind of example are you? Are you bringing in Pookie, Ray, Shaquan, and Shaquita, and you have all these different people in your bed? They see that. You deal. Now listen, I was young, dumb. I went out with the dudes too, but I had enough sense. Dude, we going to the hotel, and you're gonna pay my mother to watch my children. We not bringing it in front of them. And I was on drugs. So I'm not just, deep and spiritual and don't have life experience.
Right.
So there's some things that you can do. Now, ain't nobody perfect. That's not my point. My point is you can do things different as a parent. So these kids just different. They are. But are you talking to them or at them? Because I found if you have a conversation with them, that shows that you're interested in them. That shows that you love them. It's not just about this check, because that check gonna get cut off. I had a young man, the young man that my grandson found in the car. He came back. He said, "Grandma, thank you so much for taking me in. If it wasn't for you, I don't know where I would be."
Where is he at right now? The young
He's
man.
in Jersey now.
Right.
I seen him about a year ago. He came over. I was bringing him to church with me and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a little envelope. Look, anybody want to give me a little donation? Help me get the guy something. Because look, I'm on a limited income,
Right.
We're not rich and famous. But I didn't care. I shared what I had. I didn't give food stamps or anything for him for months, but I still took care of him. Because I'm not going to see nobody's child on the street. And he came from his mother, boyfriend, put them out in the snow, him and his other little sisters, in the snow blizzard up there by Home Depot by Roosevelt Boulevard.
Oh, that's over there where some projects used to be at.
I think so. Where?
No,
Roosevelt Boulevard.
Oh, Roosevelt. Okay, I got you.
That Home Depot up there. They was up. I was like, what? So, you'd be surprised of the trauma that these children experience. Even with the young guys on the corner with the guns and all that, we scared to talk to them. I ain't scared of nobody, but however, we got to do better as parents. I remember all mine got locked up at the same time. It wasn't the two little ones. Oh, I was devastated. Oh my God, you know how we get. Not my baby. Oh my goodness. So I run into the church again. And I said, Elder Barbara, oh my God, they locked. It was my husband at that time and my two older kids. I was devastated. She turned around, looked at me and said, oh baby, don't worry about it. They'll be out. They locked me up too when they first built Youth Study Center. I was like, what? That made me feel better. If you talk to somebody else, I guarantee you, you're not alone in this thing called parenting. But some of us have so much pride. Can't nobody tell me what to do? Can't nobody tell me how to raise my children? But you stressing out, pulling your hair out, don't know what to do, don't know what to do, who to call, pulling your hair out. Then we just give up. Oh, the heck with them kids. I'm tired of them anyway. They will wear you out. So what did I do? I said, God, can you help me be a better parent? Because like I said, there's no perfect parents.
Right.
We got to be diligent in parenting. I was at the school. I wasn't a mom that go to the school and cuss the teacher out because my child up there acting a fool. Y'all take up for y'all kids so much. That's why I don't have no manners and respect. There's no consequences. But I would talk to mom and say, baby, listen, there's consequences for everything that we do. Be it good or bad. You do good, you get a good consequence. You do bad, you're going to get bad consequences. I will hold my diploma up to my grandson and them and say, see that, baby? Yeah, I got my name on it. You going to get yours? Talk to me. What you want to be? What you want to do with your life? We don't have conversations with our kids. And I know we got the parents, the single parents that's working. Listen, I worked 2 jobs. I took care of my mother, my children, and other people's children. Went to church and was on ministry. Don't ask me how I did it. Sure enough, it was the help of the good Lord. But however, my stance was, God help me be a better parent.
Right.
They didn't see me laying up with Pookie, Ray, and JoJo and all of them.
Now we put I normally put like quotes up for the parents. So I put this one up here. Let's see if you can see that. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so parents, please don't allow your past mistakes to dictate your parenting, or your children could make the same mistakes. Let me get your opinion on it.
Well, because we've all made mistakes. So I told my children, now, baby, don't use them drugs because you're going to jack your life up. I told him, I said, baby, I was skinny as a string, running around with guns, cutting the food. And I told him, I said, listen, when you're young, you do dumb stuff. We all did it. Stupid, something stupid. But one thing worse than a young fool is an old fool. So my opinion on that is tell your kids some of the stuff that you done and what the consequences was. I did this. I messed up. I don't want you to do the same thing and screw yourself up like I screwed myself up. Listen, I didn't get my diploma until I was 37 years old. Because nobody said, you better go to school, don't be having no kids, no teenager. So nobody talked to me. I talked about teenage pregnancy because I was a pregnant teenager. And guess what? My children were so afraid. My daughter was 21 years old when she got pregnant with Yashik. She was so scared to tell me. Her girlfriend told me. That's all. Well, she's grown now. That's on her. But I used to instill in them, you better not come to my house with no babies because I'm going to stomp your guts and your baby guts out. I was a little rough. But they ain't had no kids. None of my kids had children until they were grown.
Well, let me ask you.
I made a mistake. So, yeah, talk to them about your shenanigans, your stuff.
Well, let me ask you a question because a lot of parents feel that I guess with the teen pregnancy thing, some of the parents that I've talked to, you know, they feel like, well, they'll do it anyway. But
not necessarily.
Yeah. My stance on that is that, you know, they may do it. You know what I mean?
And they may not.
And they may not. But see, like I was telling Evangelist Pat, once you tell that 16-year-old or 15 to 17 that, you know, I'll buy you these condoms and this birth control, in the back of their mind, that's like, oh, I can have sex.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So opposed to just doing that, you know, what I tell my girls is that, you know, you're not ready for, you know, a situation like that. And what you got to realize with these kids is that kids will do something if they think it's a reward, you know, for doing it. You know, so you got to present their future to them and let them know that, hey, you know, your future is bright and, you know, it's going to be worth something, but it's up to you to get there. You know, now you can go out and you make a dumb decision and you come back here and you're going to have to face the consequences. And I told them, I said, hey, you know, it's easier to hold a book with two hands opposed to one because you're trying to rock a baby to sleep. You understand what I'm saying? But I think
that's what we don't do.
With some of these parents, I mean, I'm not sure if it's all of them, but it may be like the guilt complex, the way as though they may feel like a hypocrite, you know, because I did it. So I don't want to tell them not to do the same thing.
Maybe that's the wrong mindset.
Right.
You're not a hypocrite. You trying to save them from doing the same dumb thing that
right.
you did. I would tell them, Dick, I'm sorry. I would tell them, listen, you go out there and have sex with that boy because he's cute. He's still going to be cute. And he's going to be cute with the girl down the street. Well, nowadays, guy, girl, whatever. That's your choice. That's your business. But however, they're going to be with somebody else down the street. And I would show them pictures and give them stuff like, I say, sit down. They sit down. I said, now, you sat down good, right? Now, you got herpes and boils on your kitty McCoo. You got to sit on the side. Like, they be like, oh, Mom. I would have graphic conversations with them about disease, babies. You can't go to school. I ain't watch nobody kids. I ain't watch nobody babies. So you have to talk to them, and you have to give them different scenarios. But the parents, are they going to do it anyway? You gave what I said earlier, and we just give up out of frustration.
Right.
Give them a condom and say, well, go. No. It's no. You don't even know your worth. You don't know that you are precious. You know, I just heard some guy say, you got to pay before you lay. Not as in prostitution, but as in pay time. Talk to me. Put a ring on. Women, we are led by what we hear. That's what motivates us. Women need conversation. So a guy can talk you out of your panties just like that. All they got to do is say the right thing. But you got to have a little sense and some wisdom to talk to your daughter. Men are moved. They are sexual beings. Women, we need conversation. I give them books. I got a book, his needs and her needs before I do any counseling. what men need, what women need. So you have to talk to the teenagers because they don't know. They don't know. And if you're feeling guilty, baby, listen, wipe that away. You can use that same mistake that you made to stop your child or the next generation from making the same mistake.
Yeah, because condoms and birth control, that don't protect you against rape.
Sure
Because
don't.
if you you tell that child that
I'm frozen.
I'm not going to tell you not to do it because you may do it,
And
and
I
the
ain't saying
child
that.
may decide to do it and then change their mind. And then here's the other thing, when the child is, you're having this conversation with your child in the back of their mind, you may be thinking that the partner is 16 and the partner could be 26. You know what I mean? And if the little girl changed her mind, but then the guy didn't, then that could be a situation where as though, the parents had, a part in that. And some of the parents don't believe that, the consequences of the actions of your children, you have some part to play in it.
You have some part to play in it, yes.
Right. I mean,
And
you're not 100% accountable.
but if you give them the right tools,
right,
you say the right thing, you be a good example, because most of our kids do what we do. They move by what they see. Oh, mommy had Pookie, Ray Ray, Mr. Johnny up there. First, she was going Mr. Johnny for 2 years. He was in the bedroom. Then he had Mr. Ralph up there for 6 months. Then he had Mr. JoJo up there for 4 months. Now she got Susie up there for 6 months. So the children see all this stuff. So they think it's okay, and it's not. And then you get mad with them because you're not a good example. We got to be better examples, for one thing. So when you look back, listen, I was a good example. Even if they don't turn out, the way they should, the way you expect them to. I was a good example. I chastised them. I taught them manners and respect, discipline. I bought them what they needed. They had clothes, food, extracurricular activities. Idle time is a double workshop. Right. You see these kids, they just running around doing, and I get it with the moms that's working. I work 2 jobs, so I get it. It was a little boy that was on 56th Street outside. And everybody was going, how could you let your child get away? The child could have went outside while mom was asleep in the kitchen. These kids is fast nowadays, honey. My daughter was all the way on Washington Avenue. I think she was about 3 years old. Thank God somebody seen her, brought her back home, and my mother was home. So you never know, we can't crucify the parents. We only want to love and support and help you the best that we can, because somebody always know a little more than you.
Right.
Somebody knows a little more than me. And a little bit and a little bit, we all put it together. We'll be fine as parents. But if we got pride and we don't want to ask nobody, we got this attitude, oh, can't nobody tell me what to do? Can't nobody tell me how to raise my children? Listen, I ask God to help me. I ask older women. Some stuff they might have said, because my daughter used to wear figure weights. She was like maybe 8. That's too fast for her. I was like, I had that look. That's my daughter. What do I hear? I paid for that, but I get it. They was just looking out, let the child be a child, because once they're grown, they'll never be a child again.
Right.
But I was too dumb to see that.
You can't.
So we need to let our little girls be little girls. Why they little girls?
And I think it is true what you're saying. That you definitely need God to be a parent.
You ain't lying, child. All my kids been crazy when they turn 15. I think I'm going to jail. God, did you give me these kids? I don't think these belong to me. I think the doctor gave me the wrong children. Because listen, between jail, I done found drugs. Listen, y'all. I know y'all let all that stuff be in your house. Y'all, you let them sell weed out your house. If you're renting that house or you own that house, baby, the cops come in, you're the one going to jail, not the child. I just want to put that out there. I found some drugs, y'all, right? I was like, oh my God. So the first batch I found, I threw it away. It wasn't a whole lot, but it was enough. Oh, it's not in my house. So I found a nice big one. I said, oh my God, that was what I do. I went right to talk to the older lady. She said, baby, don't throw that away. Because I'm hyped now. Give it back to him because you don't want him to get hurt. That made sense to me. See, in my mind, I'm going to throw it away. See, sometimes we think we got it together. We know what we doing.
Right.
I could have got the child killed.
Right. So that's a lot of money they got replaced.
That's money. So she said, no, don't throw it away. Give it back to him. and just talk to him. So I did. I gave it back. I said, don't mess my house. I'm going to find some more, flush it down the toilet, and you too. Even with the guns. Found the gun. Oh, you got to give me that back? Mama said, yeah, nigga, where you wanted that? It was like, you crazy. See, some of your parents are scared of these kids. I ain't scared enough of walking on 2 feet. Never have been. And then you fold. You put the kid on punishment, right? You put the kid on punishment.
For 5 minutes.
And then you change your mind. All right, I ain't gonna do it no more. Baby, stop folding. You wasn't no sucker no other time. Don't be no sucker now. Stand your ground. Stop folding. Stop being scary. And stop letting them manipulate and intimidate. And those of you that are husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend, and you the mother and the father, don't let them kids manipulate. They'll ask you, oh, can I go to the park? No. Then they go ask the other parent, can I go to the park? Yeah. No, what did your father say? Or what did your mother say? Stay in agreement. Well, let me go check and see what they say. Did Shaquita ask you, can she go somewhere? Well, what did you say? Because she's trying to play us, and that brings division too in the family. That brings division, and you fighting, oh, my kids come first. Baby, your kids ain't coming first, quite honest, because you can do something dumb and let them just go do anything they want to do. Now they in jail. You trying to get them out of jail. I told him, I said, baby, go to jail. Don't call me. He went to jail. He called me. I ain't answering you. I was on the way to the hairdresser the first time and went to the hairdresser too. I did. I said, oh, I got an appointment, honey. I can't come nowhere. So I went back later on after I got my done, then I went to find out what was going on, and then, they released it with me because he was a juvenile. But, drugs, guns, jail, addiction, all of that. So I've been a parent for almost 50 years. I've got experience, good, bad, good decisions, bad decisions. And sometimes we traumatize our children and don't even realize it. And I was young, very young. Something happened in the house. I took a gun. The dude hit me in the face. Oh, because we don't have that in our family. Because my mother told me when I was a little girl, never let a man beat you. Mm-hmm. Because he likes to eat and he got to go to sleep. I was like 8. I was like, what? Oh, I got the revelation. The Negro hit me in the face, and I was out there getting high and all this stuff. But what you're not going to do is be doing this. I told my kids, baby, get in the closet. Took that 38 Smith & Wesson. I was half high. He was at the bottom of the steps. I was at the top. To today, my son's still traumatized because he had to come in the house from playing ball. So that's another long story. Mm-hmm. I'd have been stabbed up, shot at, pissed, all kind of stuff. And my 2 older kids remember some of it. But I stopped there. By the time I got 25, I was done with all of it. It was a process to get myself together. Because I had to say, help me be a better parent. And see, sometimes we don't want to tell our kids the mistakes we made. Even my daughter told my son, she said, listen, mommy was young. You got to forgive and let it go. Sometimes we don't forgive our parents. We don't let it go. And we can't move forward in our lives to be a better parent. Like I was upset with my mother because she didn't make me go to school. So I dropped out. Dumb. I was dumb and didn't know. When you're dumb, you don't know you're dumb. So I went back, 37 years old. I got my diploma. I went to Orton Reed High, adult basic education program. And the lady was like, I'm leaving. These kids so disrespectful. I said, baby, I left one time. I ain't leaving again. I kicked the boys' bathroom door open. Get out of here. They was in there gambling. Get out of here. Let's go to class. You want to be old like me? And I will fuss one of them out. And let me tell you something. I will always talk to him about, go to class, go to class. He had a whole scholarship. He was about to lose it. We all graduated. He didn't. 2 years later, I think it was, maybe 2 years or whatever, I was going on his path mark. Mm-hmm. He was on the corner. And he said, Miss Glow, I'm so glad to see you. All I kept hearing was your voice. I want you to know I went back and I got that scholarship and I'm in my 2nd year college. I stood at that steering wheel and cried. You never know an impact that you'll have on somebody's life.
Right.
And they don't have to be your biological children. They could be an adoptee, a family member. Look, I got hood children. My house is called Hood Tabernacle. My kids would bring their friends over. I don't care if they was Muslim, atheist, whatever. I'll lay hands on them, pray for them, talk to them. And you got to be relatable. And sometimes as parents, like you said, they feel guilty or whatever.
Right.
And shame. Baby, listen, we all make mistakes. We all mess up. That's just part of life.
Right, that's right.
But you want to take what you did wrong and let your child know, don't do that, baby. I screwed myself up. I could have been this by now.
Right,
I could have been that by now. I could have had my college degree. I could have went in the army. My grandson, he don't have no record. And the cops locked him up. But all them lectures I gave him, when that judge dropped the charges, he went straight from CJC to the land and title building to go to Job Corps. He didn't even go home. He went straight out. We going right here. He said, "You right, Grandmom." And every time I told him, you always come back to say, "You right, Grandmom." I said, "Oh, bad, try to tell him to screw yourself up." But we don't talk to our children. We talk at them, or we too busy. You know, you have to ask God, help me to like being a parent. Even if they're getting on your nerves, they're going to get on your nerves. They are going to get on your nerves. Or they're going to get on your nerves. You want to choke the life out of them. But you got to love past that. And they don't have to be biological children. So ask yourself, are you getting the child for the check or your own selfish reasons? Is that going to bring them and yourself more harm than good? That's a question that you want to ask yourself. Is there genuine love and concern to plant seeds of hope that they won't end up like these people running around 13, 14, 15, not only having babies, they run around robbing people, shooting folks. Somebody shot a lady 80 years old in the chest. Mm-hmm. What you doing shooting somebody 80 years old? What's wrong with you? When we came up, we wouldn't cuss in front of old people. You see that old lady? Shh. We wouldn't say bad words in front of the church. I don't care if it's a Catholic church. Why? Because we honored God. We're not instilling the stuff in our children because we're too busy running around. So I got to get to the club tonight. I got to go get this new Gucci. Wait a minute, baby. You go to the club tonight. But have you sat down and talked to the child? What's going on with you? How was your day? How you feeling today? What area in life are you struggling in? How's your homework? Do you like your teacher? So what you want to do when you grow up? You want to be a nurse? Okay. You know, well, here's a program. And, you know, I've had people to Sister Felicia, well, Minister Felicia, she offered, I'm going to pay for him to go to, what is that school? To be a paralegal? No, the ones that work on the fire trucks. I mean, on the EMT. Paramedic. So I said, look, you got opportunity. So you can present good opportunities to them. That's some of the stuff I'm sure a lot of parents don't do because they don't know. But it's a lot of resources. Have you took your child to get any mental health? My mother took me to child guidance when Children's Hospital was on 17th and Bainbridge. It went from 17th to 18th, Bainbridge, Fitzroy. That was a whole children's hospital. What y'all see today is not it. So I always was raised with, you take care of your teeth, you go get your physical, go get your mental. That's part of your body too. We told, even the folk in the church, you know, we talk about the stripes on the Lord's back for our physical healing. But you rarely hear about the crown of thorns that was placed on his head for our mental stability and our emotional stability.
Right.
That's part of us too. Therapy and theology go real good together.
Yeah,
it goes real good together. I don't care what. Oh, I ain't crazy. Well, baby, something wrong with you because you acting the fool. You ain't paying this child no mind. The children, you never. Half of these people, you don't know what these kids been through. They've been raped, molestation. Uncle Joe playing with the kids, Kitty McCoos, and carrying on. What y'all? And that old crap, what happens in the family stays in the family. That's I told my kids, baby, tell everything. If they say they're gonna kill you, tell them, well, that's okay. When I die, go ahead to heaven. Tell it. They just saying that so that you won't say anything.
Now you said you got we got Gary let you go, but you said you got a poem or something like that.
Oh yeah, okay. So in this last little part is what could we do? First, you want to recognize the need. You need to be. We need to be healed from our own pain and trauma, right? We need to set a precedence in our home. Like my house, I haven't lived there in 4 years. You can't smoke in my house. They'll go to my house right now. They go outside on the step on the yard because there's no smoking in my house. And stop bringing different men and ladies and carrying on to your in your house. Okay, so we about to wrap it up and wind it down. I hope I said something that would, help. You can always call somebody, ask somebody a question if you need help. Like we all need help. Because life is life, and it's rough out here in these streets. And these streets ain't playing. And I don't care if it's addiction, teenagers acting a fool. But I want to dedicate, I wrote this poem some years ago, and it's called The Parent's Plea. So I want to dedicate this to every parent that has lost a child, to drug addiction, to murder, to they just disappeared, don't want to talk to you anymore, or whatever the issue may be. Back and forth, pacing the floor, wondering when you're going to come through the door. In the midnight hour, all night crying, I ask God, why are all of our children dying? Our worst fear, a total nightmare. Why do we keep ending up here? This is not a good place. No more will we be able to see our children's smiling face. Sweeping the house with the broom. Mom, Dad, somebody needs to check his room. Drinking coffee out your favorite mug. In the corner of the closet, there's a lump under the rug. While he's running the street, flip that bed and look under them sheets. Yeah, he outside having fun. Mom, Dad, you better look around and find that gun. Life without them will never be the same. Mom, Dad, we got to step up our game. I took a gun from my son. He said, Mom, you got to give it back. I pointed at him and said, yeah, nigga, where you want it at? He was shocked that I pulled out the Glock. My friend around the corner lost a beautiful daughter. Be led by the Spirit, he won't lead you wrong, or we'll end up right back here singing the same old sad song. They took the prayer out of school. No wonder our kids are acting a fool. But you can have prayer at home if you would just take time and stop texting and get off the phone. Listen, son, popping, flying, talking back. Yo, dog, we ain't having that. Mom, Dad, this has got to stop. We even got to threaten them and tell them we going to turn them into the cop. I know y'all say don't snitch. You know what you sound like? You sound like a weak. Well, I can't say that part, but I just want you to feel my heart. Can you imagine how it feels finding out it was your son that was carrying the steel? Life doesn't always turn out so nice, but it sure helps if you know Christ. Better pay attention or you too will be paying this price. Y'all got so much beef, you can't even walk the street. We are from Philly. Fighting over territory seems to be so silly. Why all this division? It's because our young men have no vision. They say, I'm just chilling. Productivity and education, some of them are so unwilling. Parents, it's imperative we get involved. We got to do something to save our children's lives. Praying for our children won't be in vain. You may save yourself or even another parent some pain. So you better start searching, or you too will be the one end up hurting.
That was wonderful.
Thank
I
you.
just want to thank you for coming on to the show. I'm sure we can have you again, and you definitely put a message out there for them, and I appreciate the time.
Thank you, and God bless you. You keep doing what you're doing. You don't know who's going to hear this. You keep getting keep asking posting those questions, because the different perspectives are needed. And sometimes we think we know something. Everybody have a different perspective. Somebody has somebody's answer.
Right.
You're the answer to somebody's question. Somebody's the answer to my question. And we all in this thing together. We love our children. You know how many times we sit up here and cry about, oh my God, we nervous because we think it's our child that got shot. Or we may think it's our child that stole a car. My daughter stole a car. I tried to beat her brains out. You what? Her and them boys, they was running. She was tomboy. Yeah, they was all stolen across. I'm telling you, I got some stories. But God brought them all through. They all out of jail. They all got jobs, and they all know Jesus. It was a rough ride, but I'm glad it's over. It ain't over.
Well, I thank you again. I'm
gonna
let you go, and thank you again. We definitely appreciate you for coming on.
Kingdom
blessings. I love you.
Doing what you doing. All right, little bro.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That was Evangelist Gloria Dunmore. What she forgot to mention was not only did she go back and get her high school diploma, Evangelist Dunmore is now in a doctoral program. So I believe within the next year or so, she will be Dr. Gloria Dunmore. So she's definitely an inspiration to me. I was just telling her the other day, I can't call you mom. I mean, she probably close age to a mom, but I talk to her more like a sister. I mean, I got a spiritual mom. I can't say some of the things I say to her, but it's definitely true. I'm gonna put this thing back up here. Parents, please don't allow your mistakes dictate your parenting, or your children can make the same mistakes. Now, I understand, as parents, we don't want our children to go out there and do certain things. And sometimes you may feel like that, you can't tell these kids anything because they have their own mindset. But let me tell you something. Your job as a parent is to develop the child. Now, let me tell you what development means. I'm looking it up right fast. So, the process of developing or to be developed. So, we're going to look a little bit more into that. To set forth and make clear by degrees or in detail. That's not exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, here it is right here, develop. So when you develop something, it is, hold on, I should have looked this up earlier. I know what it is. I don't need to look at all that. So when you're developing something, you're making something happen. Like when they develop a movie, they got to take like certain parts and put it together. And, they got to get the cast and the actors to develop the movie. So it's the same thing as a parent. When you're developing a child, you have to provide nurture, nutrition, love, attention. That's why, the young man that she was talking about, on the corner, and the young man that they, her son found in the car, and, the guy that shot the 80-year-old woman. Something happened in that development process. Now, don't get me wrong. You can have a perfect development, and, sometimes things still go astray. But it's just a lower probability of that. Now, when you have proper development, you just have a higher probability that your child is going to, turn out for the better. And I've seen examples of this. I mean, I've seen it with my kids, my cousin. I've seen it with her children. I've seen it with other people's children. But it's a process. But if you don't know the process, then you have to ask somebody. When Tasha, that's the kid's mom's name, when she first had Amaya, I was like scared to death because I already knew I ain't had good parents. And I ain't know, what to do in regards to being a dad. And, I wasn't so concerned in regards to the parenting experience that she had, because that couldn't help me. Whatever experience she had was the experience that she had. I had to go off for whatever I had. And it was almost nothing. You know what I mean? I'm not saying my mom is a bad person. I'm just saying that, at parenting, she just wasn't all that great at it. Parenting is a job. just because you have a child, just like they say parenting, when you have a baby, it don't come with a manual. Well, that's two ways too. It also don't come with a manual where it's telling you how to be a parent. Besides the manual that's telling you how to take care of this child. I mean, there's books out there, so go get them. So stop letting people tell you that, it ain't no manual to this. They've been saying this they've been saying this since I was small. So don't be no fool. If your child having a baby, go take your behind right on down to Barnes and Noble or Black and Noble or wherever they sell books at, and get your daughter or your son a book on parenting. So anyway, so when you develop these children the right way, is a higher probability that they'll turn out better. But then you have to put something in them. Children are like computers. When you like this phone is a computer. So for me to, I guess like right here, I'm not sure if you can see this. So for me to pull up my email, I gotta press this button here. You said that you see the screen flash up. You can't really see it, but it's a program inside of that button. Now, if it wasn't nothing in there, wasn't nothing happened, I would just press that button. You got to put some type of information in your kid. So when the event happened, me pressing that button, that's called an event. So when the event comes about, the child will have some information to go off of. Now, I'm not saying that like this is ironclad. I got one child that's in Virginia, 2 children that's here. And, I have a high confidence in Amaya, because that's the one that's in Virginia, that she acting accordingly. Now, if she was to do something unaccording, contrary to what me and her mother taught her, we would be very shocked. Now, if we didn't put any information into her, then we couldn't be shocked, because we ain't giving any information to go off of. Some of you parents aren't giving the children information. And you can't wait until they become teenagers to start trying to tell them stuff. Like, this is from birth. And you think because the child doesn't understand what you're saying, and, you think they don't understand what you're saying. But if you wait until 5 or 2 or 3 to teach them how to talk, they have to understand something. You know what I mean? Like, ask yourself, they understand when it's time to eat, and, when it's time for them to use the restroom, and, they know how to get your attention when they want you to pick them up. So, children are very intelligent. So you just have to put the information in them so they'll, know how to operate correctly. I thank you guys that do view the show. Like I said earlier, we had some complications with Facebook, but I did put the link on my page and Evangelist Gloria's page, so you can go right on there. It'll take you right to YouTube. And I thank you guys so much for, the donations that you give, for just watching Urban Facts. It's certain people I don't even know watch this show. That's just what it is. And I thank all you guys. I started this probably like a year and a half ago, and I never would imagine it would be to where it is right now. And I just thank you guys. And I thank our guest again, Evangelist Gloria Dunmore, for coming on and sharing some wisdom with us today. And you guys have a wonderful evening. God bless, and good night.